Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Happy new comic book day. Catch up for a bunch of weeks. It's the first show here from the new house, guys. I got the kind of an initial setup going. Yeah, I don't know if you guys want a room tour or something. Let me know. I'd be happy to. But yeah, so. Kind of an interesting scenario has played out the past couple weeks where I think I got 2 books like 3 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks ago there was no books I'm getting came out, and then last week there was 3, so I've got 5. They're sort of in order, but I also grouped them together because this is what is the strange story side of it for me is like. Obviously, we all already know if you're getting Amazing Spider-Man, it comes out every 2 weeks, sometimes every 3 weeks, if it's a little late, but usually they try to get that out every 2 weeks. But oddly enough, it seemed as though they're trying to play some sort of catch-up with X-Men, or they're pushing the X-Men numbers farther than the Uncanny X-Men by like 2 issues, and 2 X-Men books came out. So, without further ado, obviously, black bag of mystery out of the way. Always, as usual, come check me out on my Whatnot shows, link below. I should be getting back into the into the role of things and being on at least 5 nights a week. Though I haven't been on much recently. I've just been getting everything settled, and then I still kind of got to go through all these boxes and figure out exactly where everything is, maybe move some of the short boxes around so like the Spider-Man stuff's in one section, you get what I'm saying, indie stuff in one area, and then I'll have a better idea of where my stuff is, because at this point I don't even know. They're just I you know what I mean, I could start flipping through it and be like, oh, this is that box, but they're all out of order. I've kind of just got them at least set up so I can envision what it's gonna look like, right? So yeah, without further ado, into the books, guys. I know I'm trailing off all over the place this week, or this, you guys haven't seen me in a while, so I'm hoping to do some more shows and maybe expand into a new show soon. We'll see. It's one of those things, I've talked about this before, and I don't want to do a new show unless I know it's going to be a good format. You know what I mean? So I'm really kind of fine-tuning what this second show, hopefully weekly show, will be, and the format that it will be, and kind of really nailing that so that it's as entertaining as it possibly can be for you guys. So that's why it's taking like a year plus of sort of planning and figuring out exactly what it's going to be. I've talked about having a second show for a while now, so just to kind of explain what's going on with that. So in my number 5 and 4 spot, I put Amazing Spider-Man, the Kelly run, issues 5, and then issue 6, which I actually think contains a cameo of a new character. Anyways, I don't know if he's going to be cool. We'll see. It's just a cameo to Guy standing at the, on the last page of issue 6. I think the Kelly run's been okay. So I think the Kelly run's been okay. I've heard some people say negative things about it, and for me, I don't know. I'm not seeing that. It's not amazing. It's good. You know what I mean? And I think some people want amazing, and if it's not amazing, then it's just bad. And for me, I kind of grade on a more rational scale, I think, where just, it isn't only amazing or bad. Those aren't your two. There's some in between there. There can be some in between there, guys. And that's kind of where Amazing Spider-Man's falling for me right now. If it's a scale, it's leaning towards good, right? I just that's where I'm at with it. I think it's good, and I don't think it's amazing way over here, right? If it's this, bad, kind of bad, passable, good, amazing. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's good. It's not bad. I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I don't really want to spoil anything that's going on in it. It's kind of got an okay, interesting story that at the end of 5, we sort of wrapped with the first mini story arc, because there's only a 5 issue, but I do believe that there's going to be some carryover from those first 5 issues into what happens later. But we've sort of started a new little mini arc within what's going on at issue 6 there. So if you were bored with that first story arc, maybe stick around a little bit more for this next story arc, see where it's going. I gotta talk about it. With issue 6, we did get John Romita Jr. art back on the title. We all probably knew that Pepe wasn't going to be able to keep up with a bi-weekly title. That's rough. But I do think that at this point I've had my fun with John Romita Jr. coming back once more to Amazing Spider-Man and doing the run, the entire previous run mostly, with some issues here and there by Gleason and different people, but oh my goodness, guys, I'm kind, I was really kind of getting used to this Pepe Larraz more, how do you put it, more intricate, I feel like, is the wrong word to use. I've heard some people use this in describing, the difference between Pepe and John Romita Jr. and like, yes, Pepe's way more intricate, but John's also intricate with his hatch work. So intricate's not exactly the right word. I think it's more backgrounds. That's kind of, for me, when I I had both a Pepe issue followed by a John Romita Jr. issue. And I think that's really what for me is kind of lacking in John Romita Jr.'s more recent work. His facial expressions are actually okay, guys. Like, they're pretty good. And he draws his characters the same every time so that you know who's who. You're not confused when you come to a panel like, who's this? And that really stands out. And Pepe was able to do the same. I knew who I was looking at. And for me, that's important. I kind of do want someone who can draw the same character in many different poses, and that's the same character. It doesn't look different in each, at each ankle. And so, but the backgrounds that Pepe was doing were just amazing, man. He's really got a knack for it, and I'm sure that's why he wasn't able to keep up bi-weekly, is he's just really pouring in these beautiful backgrounds. Beautiful landscape backgrounds. And I bet John could do it too, but when you're asked to pencil an entire book in 2 weeks, what do? You cut corners. And I think, I think the solution would be to find 2 artists with similar styles. Maybe you pair Marty Gracia with Pepe, right? And then Marty does Marte. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Does 1 issue, and Pepe does another, and Mr. Gracia does 1, and Pepe Larraz does the next, and you kind of alternate between the 2 who kind of have a similar New Age style. That would be the best of both worlds, where we get our Amazing Spider-Man title bi-weekly, and we get amazing art every week that's intricately detailed, and somebody spent a month creating a mini masterpiece for us to enjoy that week. In my number 3 spot, man, this is gonna be a long episode, but it's a welcome back. So I'm talking today. So in my number 3 spot, I've got Wolverine number 10. A lot less to say about this. Just, there's some interesting things with Amazing Spider-Man this week with just everything going on there in the artist switch. So we actually had an artist switch in this one, but I didn't even notice until I was looking at the end there. But Ahmed continues, for me, a really good run on Wolverine. He's got a really good grasp of Wolverine, like Wolverine inner dialogue that written by him is just amazing for me. Like, I totally feel like that's Wolverine. He gets Wolverine really well. And I'm actually super surprised because I'm reading his Miles Morales run at the same time, and it is so different. You know what I mean? They're so different. And so he's a great writer, and he has a great ability to really be able to hone in on what kind of stories and how to tell stories for specific characters, and how other characters he will be attacking that from like a completely different angle, but also telling an interesting and well-woven story. So I'm really enjoying this Wolverine run. Amazed that this guy can write 2 clean titles a month that are really good. And then so in my number 2 and number 1 spot, mainly, you guys know how this goes. If you get an emotional response from me, whether it be outright laugh, actually laughing out loud, LOL meme, actually laughing out loud, or really being, introspective, like something that really kind of gets the brain thinking about a heavy topic, or a something of that, an interesting topic, right? Or the biggest one to get yourself a number 1 spot is you make me well up with a little bit of emotion and you hit me in the feels. And this is what X-Men, the issue 18 actually did. And just because I was linking these together, I ended up putting and this one did lead into what happens in 18. So I put issue 17 and 18 of X-Men in the number 2 and number 1 spot for this three-week period I'm catching up with now that I'm kind of finally moved in here. I mean, there's still so much to do, guys, but I had to get this out for you guys and get caught back up and get back in the. I have the studio and it's set up enough, and yeah, I don't know. Okay, so X-Men. The Stegman art is really growing on me. Reading 2 issues in a row, it was really kind of cool, man, and like, he's different, you know what I mean? He's not. I can see why a lot of people are really big fans. His art is really kind of growing on me. It's a fun, energetic, cartoony kind of a style, and I'm really digging it on this run. It's super fun, and yeah, they kind of similar to what's going on in the Uncanny X-Men title. There's sort of these but overlapping storylines, like, you know what I'm saying, taking place. And we wrapped one of these storylines that started many issues ago. Wrapped isn't even a good word. They wrapped part of it, or crescendoed part of it, but then it's still an ongoing thing, which is really entertaining for me too. How Jed MacKay has kind of woven the narrative here and is carrying it through, so that, you know what I'm saying, you hit a crescendo and you think maybe, you know, this is the end of the story arc. We're going to wrap it up tidy with a bow. Everyone's going to be happy and yay. And you know, the young the young mutant that was saved is saved, hurrah! And that is not exactly what happens. And though they hit the crescendo and kind of, like I said, weld me with emotion, thinking, oh, you know, this is gonna end happily, and it didn't. And I was surprised, but also drawn in for that next issue, for that issue 19, issue 20. What's gonna happen? And that's, you know, when you can do that, when you can deliver someone something they weren't expecting, that is actually maybe not what they wanted, and could upset some people, but you still somehow have them on board to see it hopefully wrap up happily later. That's a good job. And the writing has been really good and on point. And again, I gotta say this, in Jed MacKay's run, I really like his Cyclops. His Cyclops is the man. He is such a good leader. He is such a not chauvinist, but like he is so full of himself, and has been right so often that, you know, he's the greatest battle tested. It's you have to be reading the run to get what I'm saying, but the way he's writing him, he's just an animal. He is such a good leader. He is the Leonardo, you know what I'm saying? He is the Leonardo of X-Men right now. He is just holding everyone together and keeping everybody to. He's such a great leader right now, and he knows everyone's strengths and everyone's weaknesses and where to put them to succeed and I love his kind of arrogance, if you will, in knowing that he knows how to run a team and how to be a leader. That's kind of entertaining. Anyways, that's what I have today, guys. Well, welcome back. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Come check me out on the Whatnot app. Links are down below. We'll see you guys next time, as always, and have a great day.